Welcome back. We are going to move on with our Voyage album from Stamperia. And last time around we did a little bit of matting. We made our pinwheel waterfall and we put in our train mat. And I showed you, and we put in some magnets, this little downfall, as it were. And I hadn't decided exactly how I was going to cut these for my tuck spots, but I did end up cutting them, and I just used a craft knife and just cut along the line, and then I inked it really well because it was hard to cut it perfectly, but with the ink there to hide the white of the paper, you really can't tell. And so this one I did the same, and these two I just did on the sides. And then when I was finished, I went and put a little dot of glue at the end of each cut and let it dry thoroughly to give a little added strength to the cuts. Okay, so now we can go ahead and put these in. And we need to be careful though, because we don't want to glue them shut. So let us close that one. Turn this upside down just to make it easier to see. Easier for me to see anyway. Hopefully it's easier for you to see. And let's ink the outer edge. Sorry, I'm doing that off camera. I think I mentioned that I still don't have a computer. I'm doing this on my phone, and I can't monitor, I can't see what you're seeing. So I'm hoping for the best here. Oh, that was my cat. Don't know if you heard her. Or one of my cats. What was she doing? Oops. She's jumped up on my printer and is getting in the windowsill. So there you go. Life with kittens. All right. Now, remember, this here is going to be our tuck, this sort of pie-shaped piece. So when we glue it, let me get this out of the way so you can see. We need to be really careful not to glue in here. So we're just going to glue around the perimeter. Like this. Then we're going to glue, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to glue on this side of the cut and then over here. Everything on this side of the cut, but not underneath the cut. Okay. There we go. Now we are going to lay this piece down, being careful to try and center it as best we can and get it straight, which I'm not notoriously good at. Again, as I mentioned, even when I don't get it straight, it seems to be fine. Okay. All right, and then let's take a scrap, if I can find one. All right, where did my white scraps go? All right, I'll just grab something. There we go. And just make sure that we haven't glued our tuck spot. Okay, good. All right, and then now we're going to do this one the same way. Well, not there though. That would have been bad. It goes here. All right, did I already ink this one? I did. All right, let me get that out of the way so that you can see what we're doing. And again, now this is, oh, this is a lower one. I almost put it in the wrong place. Hang on. Okay, this is a lower one. Where's the other upper one? Oh, right here. Did I ink that one? Yes, I did, I think. Maybe not. I better ink it. you do not have to mat these just the way I am. This is kind of fussy, but I just really loved this clock and wanted to kind of preserve as much of it as I could. If you don't care about it, or you are using a different paper, by all means, just go ahead and mat it however you like. You know, add pockets to these pages or something if you prefer. Okay, so now I'm ready to glue this down. I'm going to open that. I'm going to open that. Let's make sure we have it straight. It's going to go like that. We are going to avoid this area. And this bottle of glue, ever since I refilled it and cleaned the tip, is just putting out these big globs of glue at the end. I don't know what, I think I need to get a new one of these pointy applicator tip things. I'm sure that's the technical term for that. Okay, and then again, we're going to stay away from this area. But we're going to do along this curve. Okay. And so we've got to be careful. Make sure we put it in matching. There's no, on this particular, don't mind my head, please. This particular point, there is no room for error. They need to be matched or they will look really stupid. Not as straight as I would like it, but it'll be fine. See that my tuck spot is fine. Now I'm going to turn this around. Move this envelope out of the way, and let's do the other two. Now these two have the slit here on the side, so we need to keep basically this square area free from glue. All right, so we're going to do the whole perimeter. I hope I inked this. I don't think I did. Okay. Hang on. Let's just do a real quick ink job on this. Okay, that's better. Okay, so we've done the perimeter, and then we're going to do and then the cut ends about there. So we're going to do that. Okay, kind of an odd ink glue pattern, but there you go. All right, and then this is going to be a little tricky because it's not lying flat. Glue there, but that's all right. That'll do. I think I need to get a new baby wipe out. All right, and where did here's my little scrap. Oh, it's a little wide for that. Let's see if we've got a narrower one. That's good. And now we have the last one to do. And I am liking the way this is coming out. And this one I did ink. This is where the cut is. So I need to, I think I'm just going to go ahead and, that way that. And okay. And again, we want to make sure we got this facing the correct way so that everything lines up just so. Needs to be a little more this way. It's not at all straight. Let's see if we can get it up. Came out really nice. I'm happy with that. We haven't chosen these mats yet. All right, now we did this the last time, and I'm probably going to wait to do the actual waterfall part to see what I have in the way of small pieces, but I do want something fairly significant to go there. So let's see. Let's see what we have. Is, I think I said it was 4 3/4 square. It is. All right, so let's take a look at our papers and see what we have left that is of a size and somewhat dramatic to go in that spot. It doesn't necessarily have to be a dramatic paper. I just kind of like when you open that to get a reveal, as it were. And actually, this came up, and this looks like it might be the right size even. It's a little small. It would be wide enough, but it's a little short. But I could make it bigger with a strip, because I do somewhere have a bunch of strips that I cut off of other things that I could use. Okay, so that's a possibility. That's too, these are too small. These are all too small. Let's see, I don't think any of these would give me anywhere close to 4 3/4. So it's too small. Okay, this shows some promise. This bicycle would be perfect. It's just the right size. Okay, so that's almost certainly going to be what we'll use. This is leftovers from the cover, more leftovers from the cover. That's kind of boring. This is leftovers from the cover, and I could get, it would kind of be interesting to be stripes, but I don't know, got a lot going on already. I don't think I need stripes. Clocks, those are cut aparts. Those are cut aparts. That's the back cover. This is nice, but I'll save it for something bigger. More cut aparts. Oh, and then we have this awesome piece. I don't think this is different enough from this to justify cutting into it yet. But this here would be what I would use. Okay, I think we're set. We're going to use the bicycle. All right. Let me go ahead and cut that. 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. And I think I'm going to save this this border piece that's on the bottom. I'm going to save that because I like it. I'm going to leave it on there. That is pretty cool. Where's our book? And that is going to fit in there. Is it too tight? Don't mind my head. I'm just sticking it in there to make sure it fits. I think I could just take a little hair off. Let's see. Make it a little easier to put it in there. There we go. Cute. All right. So let's go ahead and ink that up. Now remember, when you're choosing your paper for this, it's going to show. Hang on, let me put that there. See, on the corners? So this one's going to sort of blend in with the background a little, but it's perfectly fine to have one that really shows, like a high contrast. But just be aware of it when you're choosing, so you don't end up with something you weren't expecting. And again, this would be a perfect spot for a wonderful portrait of someone. You know, if you just want to put a photo mat here and call it a day, it would be great if you just opened up and then had like a wonderful picture of a baby, or you and your husband at the Eiffel Tower or something. So don't feel like you have to mat this the same way I am, is what I'm saying. Put what works for you. And again, I'm just double checking. I'm paranoid about putting in directional mats upside down. I have done it, but not. I'm pretty careful about checking that usually. I forget magnets all the time, but I'm pretty good at checking the directions of my mats. And again, I'm using art glitter glue to hold down the mats, and this is Stamperia Voyages Fantastique that I am using for the papers. Alright, and the cardstock, I'm pretty sure I mentioned, is the black artisan cardstock from Country Craft Creations, which is my favorite. Not necessarily the black, I like a lot of the colors, but I like the artisan cardstock a lot. Oh, that's the wet one. What do I do with the dry one? Here it is. It just, I don't know, the quality is good, the color is good, it doesn't tear or rip or peel or any of those other fun things that add so much delight to your projects. Okay, that looks super cute. Oh, don't tell me I put it too high up. I will be very irritated with myself, and I think I did a little bit, but that's all right. We can, where's my bone folder? I'll just give it a good burnish, and that should go down. All right. Hazard of being, having poor eyesight. Okay, there we go. And I know I say a lot, you know, excuse me, I'm really blind and I don't see very well. I'm not making fun of people with eye issues. I truly do have an eye issue that makes it very difficult for me to see. I don't see well at all, so I'm not being facetious when I say that, or making light of somebody's condition. Okay, so there's that. All right, let's see. The envelope flap's going there, and it needs a mat. And I think I've got so many large pages that I'm pretty much, oops, that didn't get, that needs some glue. I'm pretty much resigned to the fact that I'm going to be using papers from both of the collections that I have. Oops. You know where that's catching is, I think, right on there. No, shouldn't be. I don't know why that caught. Maybe I just didn't put enough glue. Okay, and since I didn't put a magnet, because I got all excited about that train and forgot it. However, I think it's fine. Actually, what I could do, and I think I will do, is I could put the magnet on this side and on this side, because my magnets are strong enough that that would work. And then I don't have to worry about that anymore. All right, let me grab some and get that. That was the magnets slamming into the metal cart where I store them. Let's see if let's just put this centered here, because it's really bugging me that that's not magnetized, and I don't want to put anything on top of that train because I love it. So I'm going to do this. Should be fine. Now, if you're not buying the basic grays, like if you get the basic grays from Country Craft Creations, the large is what I would get. you should be just fine. If you're buying them online from like a bulk magnet manufacturer, which is what I do, and they're located in Pennsylvania, I think. There you go. You want to look for the ones that are N55. They're super strong. They have, I think it's N40 or 45 and 55, something like that. You want to get the ones that are 50, 55, in the 50s. I think it's 55. They're just really strong. You can get them on, like, I understand, I've never bought them on, like, eBay or maybe AliExpress or some of those other, like, direct from China retailers and stuff. But, yeah, that's working just fine. I've heard some not great things about the magnets that come from those places, so I haven't tried them. Maybe they're perfect, maybe they're great, I don't know, but I'm happy with the ones that I use. The basic rays, or, pardon me, either the basic rays or the ones, like I said, I can't remember the name of the place. I think it's, actually, you know what, I have it right here. K&J Magnetics, and they're in Pennsylvania, and those are the ones I like the best. Okay, I kind of like the way this looks with the writing and the brown. However, it's got a little crud left from where it was bound into the paper pad, so I'm just seeing if I can get that off. If not, I'll just trim a little bit off. Okay. The only thing actually is, though, if I use that, this is a nice wide piece, and I could use this somewhere where I need a wide piece. Let me look at my narrow scraps and see if there's something. I'm sorry, I have got so much clutter around me. I am sorry, I need to pick up. If you're using something like Prima, paper from Prima, or even Graphic 45, where you get 2 of each, you don't have to be quite so fussy about, you know, which ones you use. But where you only have 1 of each, and I really would rather not, if I can help it, use too much from the other pack. That's actually kind of nice. That's a possibility. That, not so much. I'm just having to be fussy about what I use to try and you have as little waste as possible. Those are cut apart, so I don't want those. That's from the back cover. That's not bad. That's not wide enough. I love that, but I'm going to save that for the vertical belly band, so not that. I kind of like this blue. It picks up a lot on that. I don't really want to use a big print because I don't want to lose that, though. I like it a lot, but that's all right. I'll still have, even if I take from here, I'll still have plenty of that. I think I'm going to use that. All right, let me get these out of the way. And let us take a look and see. I don't care so much about this corner down here, so I think I'm going to take the piece that I need from there. All right, so that's going to be 2 by 5 7/8. All right. So, all right. I have this stripe here, and I don't. Let me see. Do I want that or not? I don't think I do. I think I just want this part. So I'm gonna have to cut that off. I'm gonna have to take that into account when I cut my. I think I mentioned that my big cutter does not do well with things around the 6-inch mark. So I'm going to get out my little cutter, which I'm not super fond of, but it will do the job. And this 5 7/8. there's a border though, so I need to cut it a little more because I need to have room to cut that off. Okay, so now get that out of the way. The reason I don't like this cutter, as you can see, it leaves kind of a weird rough ridge. And I'm actually cutting this a little shy of 5 7/8. And then this needs to be 2. Okay, and I'll save that because I can use it somewhere. Right. Yeah, nice. That looks good. Now, I mentioned that my cutter left a raw edge. So sometimes what I do is literally I keep a nail file in my kit. I normally do it over a black book, however, and just give it a little. I'm not actually distressing the edge. I'm just trying to smooth it a little by taking off some of that roughness that the cutter left. Be very gentle when you do that. You could damage your paper, which is fine if that's what you're going for, but it's not what I'm going for. So. All right, and again, I am using walnut stain, Distress Ink walnut stain. Not the oxide, just the regular. And let's go ahead and glue that down. All right. I'm just going to turn that, make it easier for me to see. Go. Let's burnish that down. Cute. Okay, now we can tuck things in there. All right, I left my Post-it note in there. Let's get that out of there. All right, now I feel like these should be a matched, some sort of matched set. And I happen to have this that I just used. And that will work out just fine. All right, so let me go ahead. I think I need to reach out to Fiskars because my cutter, which is supposed to be self-sharpening and never any problems, is and those are going to go there. So just see, and I think if I'm not mistaken that I might have cut these down a little. They may not be the full width, so I may need to trim a little. Yeah, my height is okay, but I need to cut a little off my width. All right, let me just double check. Where's my ruler? Because I didn't want these hitting each other, I cut them down a little bit. So I need to get these more like 5 3/4 wide. And that's fine. And again, I'm going to resort to my small cutter. And I like this part where they meet in the middle, so I'm going to cut the outside edge off. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's better. And it's a little short top to bottom, but I'm okay with that. It does not bother me. Again, we're going to save that. I know it seems silly to save these really small pieces, but you'd be surprised how often it comes in handy to have them. these with our walnut stain. Get these glued into place. What I'm doing, I know I'm bouncing around in this album some, is I'm trying to get the big areas, the big focus areas, the areas where I have a full sheet matte, and get those done first to make sure I haven't cut the paper in such a way that I'm left where I don't have something to use. And again, I do have another collection, and I will break into it, I'm sure. But I'm trying to get as much done with the first one before I break into the second one as I can. All right. Now, let me get, if you remember, our white strips to help see the edges of the paper. Whoops. These pages that we're doing now, combined with the ones that are on the inside of these same pages, are kind of the showpiece pages of the book. So we definitely want to get these done before we start cutting into smaller pieces. Oops, my goodness, I must have overglued that. All right, that's that one. Let's move our paper over to the other side. And I mean, I don't know, maybe if you have better eyesight than I do, you know, you don't need that white paper, but I just find when I'm working with really dark papers, it just helps me so much to line up my mats. Now, if I had it right on, well, I was going to say if I had it right in front of me, I'd see it better, but I probably wouldn't, honestly. Okay, now let us line this one up. Okay, now, oops. I want to take that paper out because I want to make sure these two, yep, they look good. I am happy. These papers are just so awesome. And it's funny because I have this odd sort of thing where, you know, everybody has their favorite style, and I really like pink and frilly and girly, and I also really like these sort of steampunky, antique, travel-y ones. That looks fantastic, if you'll pardon my unintended pun. Let's grab our envelope. And there are two sizes that we need. And I trim, if you remember, I traced these on here when I made the envelope. I don't think I showed you that. I made the envelope using my envelope punch board. You could purchase an envelope. Oh, that's not an envelope punch board. That's my scoreboard. Anyway, this, okay. And I did the one that says Gladstone. If yours does 3.5 by 5.5 card size. Starts with a 7.5 by 7.5 inch square. All right, so, but after I made it, I laid it on this white paper and cut myself a template of the large and small flaps so that I could do my matting. So let me cut that. Find my scissors. I don't know what I did with my big scissors. Okay, there. All right. And as you can see, I cut to the inside to make my the actual mat. And I may round that tip on the mat, but I haven't decided yet. So I'm just going to leave it pointed for now. I'm gonna need to come in. I'll double check. Where's my, all right, so here's this. There is, hang on, let's put this white behind so we can see it. And yeah, that's definitely gonna look better if I round it. Okay, and what I'm going to do is take my envelope punch board and round it. Okay, so that's the template for that. And then let's do the little one. We're gonna need to round that one too. And why do I have 2 lines on that one? Oh, I see. Okay. Looks like I misdrew it the first time. So this I just traced it, and then I drew a line an 1/8 inch to the inside using my ruler, and I didn't fuss too much. I mean, it's actually wider than an 1/8 by the time you have your pencil width and stuff, but I know it'll be fine. Okay, this is this one, and that's good. That looks good. And then this, of course, I can just measure. So we know that this is going to be our background for this flap. And actually it's going to go like that. So this is going to sit on top of it like so. All right. So let us decide. And before we put the outer mat on, we need to put the, or the inner mat, I should say, probably is where I'm going to put it. We need to put the actual little flip mechanism. So let me grab that. This is just a scrap that I have of the black cardstock that I'm going to cut to 1 inch by however wide my envelope is, 5.5. A little shy of 5.5. Okay, so hang on, let me cut that. And then I'll score it in half, so that's a 1/2 inch. You can just fold this in half if you want, but I'm going to score it just to make it easier. And then just fold it in half, okay? Just like that. You can taper it if you want. It's not necessary, but you can. So what we're going to do is first we're going to start matting. Okay, we'll mat these 2 first. Fold this up, attach this, and I'm going to taper it, and then mat this triangle to cover this, okay? Does that make sense? I hope it does. Oh, I didn't put my pin back in my glue. Let me do that. So we don't want to forget to do this. So all right, so I'm putting a fairly sharp taper on that. All right, I'm going to keep it handy so we don't forget. All right, so that's our base. Let's pick some mats. All right, I'm going to do that, and I will be right back. I am back. I've picked my mats and got them cut and inked. Now, I did cut a mat for the inside. I cut it a little short because it doesn't matter. It's not going to be seen. The reason I did that is because I'm going to put a magnet right there. Okay? So before I even forget, I'm going to go ahead and put that in first. So, find the end of my tape. Tape on the back. If you get the basic gray magnets, they come with adhesive already on them, but these bulk magnets that I get from K&J don't have adhesive, which is fine. Okay, so that's going to go right in the middle. You don't have to measure it, it's just, that's where it goes. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and glue this inside mat so we can get that out of the way. Actually, that would have been pretty on the inside. It should have been that side up probably, but that's okay. Kind of like these balloons. And again, you're going to put this near to the upper part of the envelope, because the bottom is not going to be seen. And that's like that. Oh, I grabbed the wet one by mistake. That's okay. Where is the dry one? There it is. Okay. All right, now, next to fold in are these two side ones, and I am using these two. Where's the other one? There it is. No, wait a minute. I'm missing a mat. Where'd it go? Okay, well, let me put this one on and I'll find the other one. I don't know what it is. It's so strange. Okay. All right. I'm just laying it flat because it's easier. That's going to go there. This one's going to go here. Right. Just like that. Now, let's see, that's the top. All right, now, so while it's flat, I need to remember, okay, that's the top. That's the top, and the reason I'm being careful about that is this cut apart is going to go here. And I chose the size of this envelope based specifically on the fact that I knew I wanted to use one of these cut aparts as the mat. So if you have something specific you want to use, go ahead and adjust your size of your envelope. Okay. And just there. Up, and this map is going to go here. All right, so we're leaving this for last because we have to put that hinge. So that's going to go there. And I am going to put a washer there on the inside. Just hold that closed, but we can do that later. Okay, so I have to take a quick break as it was mealtime and everybody in my house needed to be fed, so that's been taken care of. And let's keep going. So we have a magnet under this mat. We've put the two side mats, the top mat, and the front mat. So the next step is going to be to glue this lower flap up. All right, So let's do that. And all right. So we know that it's basically just down and along here and there and oops. Be careful, we don't want to glue the envelope shut. Now, when you use the envelope punch board, you do end up with this sort of peak, and you could trim it off. I'm gonna leave it. All right, now, before we attach this is when we need to attach our spine for our flap, okay? And it's very easy. You're just going to, and you can use score tape or the art glitter glue. I'm just checking it for fit. You always want to check for fit. And again, I'll grab a piece of white. So this is a template for a cash envelope, which I made. I should maybe do a quick little video on that. Let's see. Just to make sure it's a little tab sticking out there. Let me just see if I can sort of smush that down with my bone folder. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to use the glue. Yeah, let me turn it so I have a better look at it. Can you see? All right, I'm just pulling it over where I can check and make sure I didn't go over, and I did not. Okay. So the way that's going to work, here's our book. Oops. What on earth are my kitties doing? Okay, so that's going to get attached there, and then it'll open on that tab that we just attached. All right, now we can let me move that so you can see. All right, so now we can attach this lower mat, and that's going to go right there. Okay, so let's do that. Sounds like somebody's using up the last of their New Year's fireworks outside. I don't know if you can hear that or not. Today is the 6th, so it's a little late, but maybe their football team did well today. And we're still going to mat that, but we're going to wait because we're not entirely sure yet. I'm going to use, depends what I have left at the end. But I do want to hold this flap closed. I don't want to use another magnet, so what I'm going to use is this little washer. Let me grab some tape for that. And this is just, a washer that you would get at the hardware store. At Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever hardware store you have. I'm just going to made my piece of tape a little big, and I'm just trimming it because I don't want it to stick where it shouldn't. I'm sorry if you hear noise in the background. It's my kittens playing with a box. And let's just put some scraps down. Okay. All right, whoops. Let's see if we can get that to stick where we want it. Oops, what did I do? Oh, dummy. Put the paper on the wrong side. Okay, let's try that again, but do it right. Move that out of the way. That should stay, but I'm just going to put a little piece of tape over it just in case. Alright, scrap out of the way. Okay, that's good. Alright, and we'll make something to go in it later. Alright, so now let's just sort of play with this. And just sort of work it back and forth. You want to make sure it's nice and flexible in your book. All right, now let's get back to our book. And let's ink this. Where's my ink? There it is. Oh, I need to put my pin back in my glue if I can find it. I'm always forever losing the pin. I don't know what I did with it now. All right, I'm just going to stick it over there for now. She's almost put the mat down before I put the envelope down. Okay, envelope first, then the mat. Okay. And in this case, I am going to use score tape because if I get it down wrong, I want to be able to pull it up, and you can't really, once you use art glitter glue, that's it. Okay, so we're going to put the tape on the front side of the tab. You don't have to miter this tab. It's not going to be seen. Okay, now we're going to line this up with the edge, and I'm going to go ahead and use my little white scrap again. It's just so much easier to see when you do that. Make sure that looks good. Awesome. Okay. And now we're going to put that mat down. Oh, there's my pin that I lost. It's ironic that I named my company Quiet Cat after my last cat, Dandy, who was passed away in October. He was 19 years old, and he was very quiet because he was mute. And he couldn't make sort of chuffing air sounds. And of course he played with his toys and all those things. But he was, all his life, even as a young cat, quite quiet and sedate. And now I have these little girls that I adopted, and you would think I had adopted a herd of German Shepherds. They are so loud, but it's wonderful to have sound of little pets in the house again, and we love them. And it's kind of nice that they're very different than Dandy, so we don't find ourselves comparing them. I don't know if I told you, their names are Holly and Jolly. Little Christmas kitties. If I think of it, I'll put a picture in so you can see them. All right, there we go. That looks nice. Okay. All right, why are we not sticking? I forgot to put the magnet down on the inside. Again, what is the matter with me with forgetting my magnets? Okay, it's fine. We'll put it here, and we'll put something. We'll hide it. I could have. Oh, I can't believe I did that. All right. I wonder, do I need a magnet there? I think I do. All right, let's see. I think I'm about out of the really skinny ones. I need to order some. Okay. So, let me think. It's too bad because that looks really, I like the way that looks, and I don't really want to cover it. But actually, I'm not going to leave this whole thing like that anyway. So maybe I'll put a picture mat or something. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and go for it, put the magnet in, and then we will figure out how to hide it later. Honestly, I need to make myself a great big label and put it on my glue bottle or something that says, check for magnets. Okay. Okay. All right, I think I'll be able to hide that. I think that'll be all right. I'm sure I would have put something there anyway, so I'm still mad at myself. Okay, there's that. Actually, as long as we're sitting here and we have that, let's think what we could put there. Okay, that's pretty good. And then maybe just curve that, but I think that it's definitely looking too square to me. Maybe just round these three corners. Let me get my corner rounder. Okay, let's do that. All right, first is that one. Let's see how that looks. That may be all it needed. I think that is all it needed. Okay, so now I need to map this on the black. All right, so that's a piece that's give or take 4 by 5. So let me see what I've got in the way of scraps. I probably have something that's about right in the neighborhood. Let's see. It's 3.5. Let's see. That's 4.5. Okay, that'll work. So if we do that, yes, I mean, sometimes you make a mistake and what you do to fix it ends up making things better than they otherwise would have been. Don't make mistakes on purpose, obviously, but yes, I like that. But we need to put some tape over this, otherwise every time we try to put something in there, it's going to catch and it'll be a nightmare. I'm kind of two minds with covering this, because sometimes I feel like if you cover it with tape, you might end up catching the tape. But, okay, so let's think about this. This is here. We're going to insert things like that, and I'm hitting that. So let's make sure it's covered this way. And you want to make that as smooth as possible. Well, so now we're going to slide right over that. All right, and then just to make it fully smooth, let's just do that. And test it again. Yep, that's fine. All right. Let's ink this. One thing that's fortunate is that this is a page with a gusset, so all this extra bulk that I'm adding is not going to be a problem because there's going to be room for it. And we can add some embellishment maybe to that. Okay, so that's going to go there. Actually, see, I kind of like the way that looks now. All right, so I just want here and here, the two straight edges with my glue. See that bubble? I do not know what it is with my glue now. I'm making this bubble. I'll go on maybe our Facebook group for Country Craft Creations. Again, I have no affiliation with them. I just enjoy the store and the group. And ask them. Somebody's bound to know what my problem with that is. Okay. There. I'm okay with that. We'll be able to tuck some things in there. And you'll also be able to put things on the top because they'll be held by the magnet. Okay, that's fine. All right. Well, I think that we have done enough for today. So we're going to stop here and then we will continue on with our matting. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Comment down below if you have any questions. And I'll be happy to try and help you out. And hit the notification bell so that you don't miss the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.